Welcome back, listeners. This is the third part of the Vedic period. I am Sandhya, here to read for you. You can make notes or you can also use these audios for your revision purpose. The data is authentic, and kindly like and subscribe the channel if you're liking the work I'm doing for you. So, we will start from now. Later Vedic period, which is from 1200 to 600 BC. In the last Vedic period, the Aryans migrated to more internal lands, interior parts of India. Thus, they had near control over vast and extensive areas. During their migration, they were exposed to various types of communities, tribes, and polity. The concept of territory and territorial administration appeared. Kingdoms like Mahajanpadas were formed by amalgamating smaller kingdoms. The scale of the wars grew and they became more deadly. As a result, the king's need became extremely important in light of the new situation. He devised a scheme of polity with the priest to hold power in his position. To keep power in the hands of the king or ruling class and priest, they devised a system of Varna, which was based on birth. Thus, the children of the ruling class and the priest class automatically became king or priest respectively. Royal power increased many folds. Rituals and sacrifices were performed and strengthened the king's position. Rajasuya, which is consecration ceremony, Vajpaya, which is chariot race, and Ashwamedha, horse sacrifice. The performing priest conferred divine status on the king as they gained financially from such sacrifices through massive donations, and thus the king was equated with the gods. As a result, the notion of divine kingship was born. The king and his lineage rose to prominence in Vedic culture. The Vaishyas were compelled to remain Vaishyas and pay taxes to the king. Vaishyas' children automatically became Vaishyas and were forced to pay taxes. Children of Shudras, on the other hand, were born as Shudras. Thus, the Varna system concentrated power in two classes, the ruling and the priestly, and ensured a steady supply of tax revenue and manual labor. Administrative setup. The structure of Sabha and Samiti was changed. They were dominated by chiefs and rich nobles. Women were no longer permitted. As king's power grew, the importance of Sabha and Samiti declined. Ministry. The king was assisted by advisors in the administration. The early ministers remained there, but some new ministers got included. They included Mahishi, the main queen of king, Purohit, priest, Senani, commander, Sangharit, treasurer, to look after income and expenditure of the kingdom, Bhagdut, tax collector, Gramini, which is the village headman, and Sut, which is chariot driver. Divine kingship. The king became responsible solely to gods. He had no need to listen to the ministry's advice. The recommendations were not obligatory to obey. As a result, the previous regulations of mantris was lost. Now he had the power to force the wish to give him gifts. As a result, the gifts ceased to be voluntarily and became a tax. Military system. Owing to frequency of battles, kings were forced to systemize his military system. As a result, during military system, owing to the frequency of battles, kings was forced to systemize his military system. As a result, during this time period, a proper military structure emerged. A hierarchy was established and rules were established. Death of the battlefield was considered heroic, whereas running away from the battlefield became a point of disgust and great humiliation. Economy. Agriculture was the chief occupation. Industrial work like metalwork, pottery, carpentry work also was there. There was foreign trade with far off regions like Babylon and Sumeria. Barley continued, but rice and wheat became chief crops. Vedic Aryans became to produce a significant surplus at this stage. The expansion of agriculture surplus paved the way for the growth of craft and trade. Trade. The trade progressed as agriculture produced had increased. The Vedic Aryans now ruled over a much larger area than before. As a result, markets were also widened. The rise of trade compelled merchants to band together. As a result, proto-guilds or early trading organization arose during this period. Early coins such as Nishka and Karshapana were introduced in India in response to increased trade, but their use was restricted to smaller transactions. Bullock cart and waterways were used to transport the goods. Society. Society was divided into four varnas. The four divisions of society in decreasing social ranking were Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras. The growing cult of sacrifices added to the power of Brahmanas. The Vedic jurists felt compelled to tie society with certain concerts and rigorous rules and regulations. For this, they invented a number of social structures such as ashram system, varna system, marriage system, and samskar, etc. Concept of concept of purusharth. Every man was expected to follow four key responsibility in his life: dharma, arth, kam, and moksha. Concept of ashrams. In this system, a person's life is divided into four parts and he was assigned some duties with respect to his age. Brahmacharya, the first stage of a person's life is spent in celibate, supervised, sober, and pure contemplation under the guidance of a guru in order to prepare the mind for spiritual knowledge. Grihasth, it is the stage of household during which one marries and satisfies kama and earth in one's married and professional lives. Vanaprasth, it is the gradual detachment from material world, giving over responsibilities to one's children, investing more time in religious traditions, and going on holy pilgrims are, are all example of this. Sannyas, the ascetic period, one renounces all worldly attachment in order to find the divine in solitude by detaching from worldly existence and peacefully shedding the body of moksha. The concept of samskara, the system of samskara was created by jurists to provide socio-religious sanctions to any stage of person's physical and psychological growth, as well as the need of his social commitment from aspect of his life was sanctified by such samskars. In later Vedic period, Varna system became hereditary, which meant that Varna membership was dependent on birth. The Varna system was organized in hierarchical manner. Its structure lacked mobility and flexibility. As a result, Varna became Jati, that is caste. During this period, sacrifices became more important, and as a result, the Brahmanas, who had supreme authority over religion, gained a higher social status. The Vaishyas and or taxpayers, agriculturists and merchants became influential as well. The three Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are considered Trivarnikas or men of higher varnas. The Shudras on the other hand remained weak and were forced to work for the Trivarnikas. A class of untouchable began to emerge from the notion of purity alongside these four varnas. Dietary habits. Dietary practices from early Vedic era persisted into later Vedic period as well. During this time, however, the proportion of non-vegetarian food increased. This was the time of the Vedic sacrifices, which were massive and time-consuming. Animals were sacrificed on a large scale during such occasions. Marriage. After Brahmacharya ashram, a person entered into Grihasthra ashram. He was expected by the canon to get married in this ashrama. We know that it is assumed that by marrying and having children, one can be freed from his parents' rina. Rina means debt or responsibility. Similarly, to the early Vedic period, the Vedic people followed a patriarchal family system. Intervarna marriages were frowned upon during this period, whereas similar Gotra family marriages were forbidden. Marriages at will, on the other hand, are disregarded by jurists in order to maintain the patriarchal structure. Thank you.